Welcome, friends. This is Into the Garden We Grow, a place for faith-filled growth. Each week we gather here to have honest conversations about life, leadership, healing, and purpose, reminding us that even in hard soil, something beautiful can grow. Wherever you're planted today, you belong here. Welcome back, friends. We're really glad to have you here with us today. If you've been following along, you know Into the Garden We Grow is a place for honest conversations, the kind that help us grow in faith, leadership, and everyday life. Today's conversation is especially meaningful to us because we're opening the door into one of the most important relationships that we've ever tended, and that's our marriage. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, Alina.
Sure. Thanks, Kristen. Marriage has been one of the greatest places of growth, refining, and grace in my life. It's where faith meets real life, the daily choices and the hard conversations, and of course all the joy that comes with it. So we wanted this conversation to feel safe, not perfect, not polished, just honest. And that's why we brought our husbands with us today, so we can kind of just get their view on marriage and how it's going and what can we do to fix it or change it. So I'm just so thankful that both of our husbands join us. This is my husband, Tommy.
Hello.
Thank you for coming today to join us. Our marriage has been shaped by faith and perseverance and choosing each other through every season. And I'm grateful that we get to have this conversation together today.
Yes, it's so fun to have you here. And then I brought my spouse, James. Say hi to everybody, James.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We're very excited to be able to dive into this conversation, the topic of marriage. I don't know about you, Alina, but for me, I am very intentional about putting God first when I need to have a conversation. And then that second conversation is with James. He is my rock as well, and I really care about the things that he helps me through, and he's really good about that. What about for you and Tommy?
The same for us. I think that's a great order to have it in. For sure. I mean, he teaches us to first love him, then love your spouse, and then your kids come third. And that's what we try to do. We try to live by having a faith-centered marriage. God first.
I love it. I love it. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do something kind of fun in this first part of our show. We're going to ask each other some questions, and I'm going to start with Alina and Tommy. And the first thing I'd like to know, and if you could share with everybody, is how did you two meet?
I'll let you talk about that. Go ahead.
We met online on one of those dating sites. The irony of it is I was on it for 3 months, and it was my very last day to be on it, and I was so over it and tired of it, and nobody that I met seemed to align with my values. And then I seen a picture of her, and she obviously the attraction was the first thing with her hair, like always made me feel good about the way she looked. The picture she chose was a really good picture. And then how about you? Was it your last day also?
No, so it's kind of funny. I had just gotten back that same day from being on a road trip with my kids. We went on a 10,000 miles, 23 states, 6 weeks road trip of me and 6 kids.
Dang.
And the only thing that made me go online that day, because I was totally against online dating. I had a lot of friends and family members tell me, you need to go online. Because I was single for almost 3 years before I met Tommy. It's like, you're young and you have kids and you need help, and you just need to go find somebody online. And I, prior to me quitting, I used to work for the police department as a dispatcher, a 911 dispatcher. And I remember taking horrific calls of like people meeting online and then going to each other's houses afterwards and stealing and hitting, whatever, you name it. So I was like, that's a crazy...
That'll keep you single.
But like, I knew that wasn't going to be me. Like, I didn't want to meet somebody and then go to their house that night, or,
Sure,
so...
Yeah.
So my kids went back to their dads right as I got back, and I was bored, home alone. And so I was like, all right, let me try this thing. And so I went on an app called Zeus, and I spent like, oh my gosh, 2 hours probably trying to set up my profile. And I chose pictures, like super conservative pictures, and I pretty much spelled it out there. Like, I'm not looking for a one-night stand. I'm a Christian. I want serious. I have 4 kids, like everything, because I wanted them to know everything about me. And anyway, so then I hit submit. Oh my gosh. Within the first, I would say 30 minutes, I probably had over 600 messages. And I was freaking out. Maybe. But what's crazy is I'm not very tech savvy, okay? So I must have put notification on like the app notification, email notification, and text notification or something, because my phone was just blowing up. And I remember calling my sister and I was like, how do you cancel this? And she laughed at me. She was like, what are you doing online? Like, scolded me, of course, even though I'm the oldest, but we scold each other. And anyway, she made fun of me, and I was like, forget it, I'll figure it out on my own. And so I went on one of the emails that came through, and it happened to be his, and to look for a phone number to call the app to try to cancel the subscription, because I knew that I didn't want to be a part of it. It was just overwhelming. And so as I was waiting on speakerphone for somebody to answer their customer service so I can cancel this, Tommy's message came in to me, and he started the conversation with, you go to CCV, ? Which CCV is a church here in Arizona, a larger church in Arizona. And I was thinking, this guy, maybe he does go to CCV too. And then what a great safe place to meet somebody at church, right? Mm-hmm. And so I clicked on it, and before I responded, I checked his profile real quick, and his profile was identical almost to mine. Same thing. He listed on there, I have 4 kids, which he's got 2 biological. He had 2 stepkids that he considered his at the time. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy that we're kind of so much alike. And so anyway, I responded, and I said, I do you? And he says, no. And I was like, oh, dang it. So I'm like, I don't know, I want to talk to him anymore. And then as we're just a very small conversation back and forth, I'm waiting for the customer service still to answer. I'm on speaker. And then he says, hey, sorry, I'm actually at the airport in Oakland. You were on vacation. Coming back that same day, he was on vacation with his 2 girls. And he's like, do you think I can have your phone number so we can chat once I land back in Phoenix? And I'm like, I'm going to cancel this thing anyway. I'm like, sure, I'm going to see what this guy's all about. And so I gave him my number. I went to dinner that night with my sister and a friend. And I come back, and he's texting me. He landed in Phoenix, and he's like, hey, how was dinner? Did you tell your sister about me? And I was like, oh, creeper. No, I'm not going to tell anybody about you yet. Like, I'm embarrassed that I'm online, let alone to tell you that I met somebody, right? And then he's like, well, did you want to meet tonight? And I was like, oh my gosh, red flags. No, I am not meeting. And by this time, it was like 9 p.m., right? But because he had gotten back from his vacation with his daughters, he sent them to their mom. And so, like, neither one of us had kids, so maybe that's what, I don't know. I don't know what his intention behind meeting me that night, but I said no. And then we finally decided to meet Tuesday. He convinced me to finally meet in person, and I was like, all right, we'll do a cup of coffee, because I figured if we go to a coffee shop, I can drink coffee, and then if I don't like what I see, I just leave, right? And so we did that. And then do you want to kind of talk about the coffee place?
So yeah, so we met just before lunch, I think, but our coffee date was a few hours long. Like, I
think 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Our first coffee date was 4 hours long.
So like my last day of the app, and it was her very first day of the app that we ended up connecting, and we met for that coffee. That went really well. And then I asked if she wanted to meet again for dinner that same night.
So because our kids were with their parent, because I had mine for 6 weeks, we went to dinner that night. So we had 2 dates in one night.
Wow.
Awesome.
And then we literally, we didn't miss, I think we seen each other every single day for the next year. And we got married the 1 year from the date that we met in person.
In person, yeah. Our 1 year
anniversary. That's incredible. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been together ever since, so.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There is hope online, you guys. Just do it right, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that part of your story.
Of course.
That's a beautiful story.
So, can you tell us a little bit about you guys? I know you guys are high school sweethearts.
Mm-hmm.
They've been together a very long time, and how amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
not very common nowadays, so that's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we met in high school, like you said, and but we didn't start dating right as soon as we met. We were friends for, I don't know, a good year and a half before we actually started dating. And James definitely pursued me. You want to share that?
Yeah, I was in high school. I was trying to behave, but it was very difficult with all the opportunities of getting in trouble. So in English class, I had to move from where I was sitting with a bunch of friends because I failed English and it's my first language. So I had to move over, move my seat so I can try to get a better grade and a passing grade so I didn't fail high school. And they ended up sending me one seat behind Kristen to the side. And all of a sudden, my grades started turning around.
Of course. Well, you sat next to the smart girl, right?
I started copying off of her, so we got better grades. And then we did studying together for finals and everything. And then I started messing around and putting, like I'd go out to eat off campus for lunch. I'd come back and I'd be done with my drink and walking up, and her car would be parked in the parking lot, and I just set my drink on her trunk and just continue walking. Like that's where I left it every day. And she couldn't figure out who was doing that.
Until one day I saw it and I was like, it's you! And I jumped on his back and was messing around. I had a boyfriend at the time. And
He witnessed all of it, so it was great. There was no hiding anything.
So James knew he had a leg in, so to speak. He thought that was me flirting, but ended up not staying with that other guy for very long. It wasn't anything serious. And James was in junior ROTC, and they have this big military ball at Luke Air Force Base every year, and he asked me when we were coming home from studying one day if I would be willing to go to military ball with him. Just as friends and everything, and it would be really fun, and we'd dress up, and I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. And then, I really did. I had to dress up in this formal gown, and he was in his full ROTC uniform and picked me up, and I'd always known him to be kind of the class clown. He's just a very funny guy, and he was totally different that night. He was so chivalrous and respectful and just like very caring in a way that I'd never seen him. And I was like, oh, who is this guy? I want to get to know this guy a little bit more. And we had the best time. And
it was fun.
Within, I guess, a few days after that military ball, we became an official couple. So that's how we met.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this, and we're going to get right back to everybody in a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break, and don't go anywhere. We're going to dive in a little deeper with our men.
This episode of Into the Garden We Grow is sponsored by Rise and Renew Wellness. Life can feel heavy, and sometimes the path forward feels blurred. At Rise and Renew Wellness, we provide a safe space to breathe, reflect, and heal. Our counseling services are here to help you rediscover strength and start your journey towards renewal from the comfort of your own space. Rise and Renew Wellness. Start your journey today.
All right, and welcome back again. Now we're going to dive in a little bit deeper with marriage and relationship. We're going to start talking about the things that people probably try to avoid talking about. But we want it to be real, we want it to be raw, we want it to be something that other people can relate to. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. And thank you for leaning in, because, yeah.
I'll start with you guys. How about, what is it that you guys do differently to handle conflict, would you say?
Well, I'm a huge communicator. I was a first responder, 911 responder for almost 15 years total, and I feel like communication is super important in everything. So I like to communicate and spew it out. Tommy's more of avoids it or doesn't want to talk about it. Not that he just doesn't like conflict. I don't like conflict either. Don't get me wrong. I hate conflict, but I feel like it's necessary to address it when I see it coming, to where Tommy would just rather not talk about it. Right? Am I right?
Well, I was going to say, when do we have conflict? We're pretty good. We don't have much conflict.
Thank you, Jesus. We don't have much, but when we do, that's how we handle it. Like I feel like
I do love to avoid it. Yeah, it's much better to sweep it under the rug.
It's easy not to talk about it.
And just hopefully it goes away. But it doesn't. So I don't know. I really think that one of the things that makes it really work for us is I think that we lean on God a lot. I think, and I think for us, our relationship's really faith based, and for me, I think some of the things that go through my head is, like when it's bad, like is to just go off. When I do go off by myself, like talking to God, sometimes trying to visualize like He's right here with me and somebody I can just talk to and ask, and what should I do, and how should I try to make it better, or and then if I am wrong, which is usually most of the time, then like ask for forgiveness for Him, and then then it's even harder to come back and ask for forgiveness to her. Just like but I think that's a big part of it. I think is just being humility of owning when you do something wrong.
And most of our conflict, because we're a blended family. And we have 6 kids between the 2 of us with multiple parents. So it's like four other parents plus us, so 6 parents plus 6. So it's kind of complicated. But amazingly, I feel like when God puts you together, like when you do it the right way and His way, it is beautiful. Like even though it sounds very complicated, our relationship is pretty easy. I feel like it's
and most of our conflicts have been about kids, about parenting,
we have
parenting styles and discipline styles of what kind of punishments should we get.
And it's so funny
rules,
because if I address something, let's say with my kids, they're like, that's not you, that's Tommy. And I was like, no, I swear it's me, because you are like, as you're with each other, you grow and you become each other and more like each other. So I was like, no, but it's so funny. Our kids don't even believe it because our parenting styles are so different that when I do go to them with something, they're like, that's not you talking, that's Tommy. Tommy told you to tell us. So it's like, no.
And you're funny because like I'll suggest something, and then instead of like thinking about it or whatever, and then you just go right to the kids with like my suggestion without any like pre-planning of whatever, and so that's why it probably sometimes comes off more of it's like funny. My idea.
Well, I like to like as soon as I receive information,
execute.
Yeah. Thank you. You understand. So yeah,
I'm a little bit more of a planner. Just like weigh it out, like, okay, what if we do that? What are the consequences of that? What could happen?
Right, because you like to avoid it altogether. So that's why. That makes sense, doesn't it? So But how about you guys? How do you handle conflict, or do you have any conflict? Well, all marriages have conflict. So.
I think we have healthy conflict. It's conflict that helps us grow. I know that's pretty much we've been kids. And now we're adults and we're raising a family, and so there's a lot of different circumstances that come up, and we actually had a healthy
earlier
conflict
today.
This morning.
We're rehearsing.
That's usually what happens, huh? Like
It was we're getting better at it. It's more about it's communication. It really just boils down to communicating. And I was getting frustrated because I had all these plans of things that we wanted to do today, and James gets into his head. He's there's the different energy, like tonal energy, and I'm very like visual, like I'm very out in your face kind of energy. And he was getting in his head, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, nothing, but I know that there's something, and I needed something I needed more than that. Don't just blow it off and not tell me what it is, because then I'm going to upset. He's like, I want to have a good day today. Okay, well, if you want to have a good day today, then tell me what you're thinking, because now I'm going to be obsessing over what it is that you're bothered by, right? So it's just, we purposefully stayed in the car, in the driveway, made sure that we talked it all out before we got out of the car and saw the kids, and it's just, it's more of that. I mean, it's gotten a lot better than what it used to be, and he and I could not be more opposite in our personality.
No. I have a way of delivering information of which I'm not considering feelings when I talk at times, and a lot of times, especially for her, I'd rather just not say anything.
Because you don't want to hurt her feelings.
The conversation will go much longer, and yes, I don't want to hurt her feelings. So it's easier for me just to figure it out in my head. And is it true what I'm thinking, or am I overthinking, or, things of that nature is kind of how I look at it. Because I get in my head a lot.
But part of it is that I internalize it like I've done something wrong because you're not sharing with me, and it makes me feel like I obsess over it. Like, what is going on? You can't hide it from me, and he can't hide it because I feel it. We're so connected that I know when he's happy, I know when he's unhappy, and vice versa.
Well, it's the energy that I bring. Most people around know if I come in if I walk a certain way or I have a certain demeanor, like, people around know, like, all right, it's either Happy James or he's in the zone or he's not happy or whatever, but I definitely don't hide it.
Yeah, he has an energy for sure. And I feel it with everything. So I'm a whole, like, I need to talk about it. You can't withhold that information from me.
No.
Yeah.
But, I mean, most of the time we're always working on me. Like, how I can say things better. Not respond as quick.
So what about you two? Because you've been married for 8 years now.
Yes.
And so what have been your biggest growing pains as a couple in the last 8 years?
Or lessons, not necessarily a pain.
Well, I don't know. I think the growing pains is still, our conflicts have always been just the parenting. I think, we love our kids. It's just the parenting styles are so different. So, and, we're not the only ones. I mean, I've talked to people who didn't come from blended families, and there's completely different parenting styles, so it's not like
uncommon.
It's our unique situation. It's just that, they're just different. And there's many things about her that are just actually, one of the things that I fell in love with her is because I felt like our parenting styles were really close at the beginning, because she has like a tolerance like I do, like when kids, especially when they're younger, like misbehaving, you're like not tolerating at all, like try to shut that stuff down. And that's kind of how I was too. And so I really liked that, because I was like, oh, sweet, we're on the same page. But for me, it was like you caved in quick. So you come off strong, and then they ask you 5 more times different ways, and then you cave in, where I was more like, rules been set, it's done. Like, so don't even talk to me anymore, because you can't outwit,
Decisions made.
You can't make me change my mind.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. That's the thing. He's more of the rule maker. I'm more of the relationship. And it's kind of crazy. I do have it written down somewhere in my phone. Our pastor was saying, like, rules without relationship is a wayward child. Rules with relationship is a good
relationship,
child.
No rules. So
there's 3 different ways. I have to look it up. But anyway, so you can't just have just a rule maker and no relationship, because they're not going to listen to you. They're going to hate you the whole time growing up, right? So he's more of the rule maker. I'm more of the grace. I give grace. And I'm like, man, even though I feel like I was a pretty good child growing up, I wasn't crazy or just very disrespectful or anything like that. And so I still have a lot of grace, to where Tommy's not. He's much like, you said this, stick to this, and but we all make mistakes. And then I have to remind him, well, how were you when you were 12? And how did you get in trouble in school? But anyway, that's a whole other topic. Like talking about kids, you know what I mean? Yeah. We have to talk about kids and family and blended families. That's like a topic in itself. But that is the difference, and we know that. But it's a great balance, I think, to have in a marriage, because if you just give grace, they take advantage and they have no respect, right? But then if you just all you do is rules, then and they don't have they think that then they don't feel loved, right? They don't feel like, because you don't have a relationship with them to show them like, hey, I'm telling you this for a reason. It's because I love you and I want you to turn out to be a good citizen in this world that we need. So yeah, we balance each other pretty good.
We do, and I think we work together, so it's like we're together all the time, and I think a lot of our passions and stuff are very similar and aligned. Like we have the same desires, the same goals, the same, most of that stuff is pretty much identical. So I mean, we it's funny, like we're giving, we're not, it's like with money or countries, with our time. So like both of us would like to, we should open up our home to many things for our church or community groups and stuff. We volunteer a lot, and so it's a big part of our lives. And I think both of us doing that, it
makes it easy that we're both aligned in the same way in that area. Yeah.
I mean, you guys haven't, but most people have been in other relationships, and they were hard, really, really hard. And I sit back and like, sometimes I go, is it supposed to be this easy? Like, I feel like it's easy, but the only thing that's different for us, or for me, is I have a relationship that like is just Christ-based, I feel like. So, and it just makes it easier.
And one thing that I learned right when I first met Tommy at the church that we go to, there's a couple there that I absolutely adore. And she said their goal in life is to outserve each other. And I was like, oh, that is beautiful. Because he's not gonna, right? Like he's not gonna outserve me because I'm gonna do the same to him, type of thing. So
we do. It's kind of our motto. I don't know that we're great at it.
Well,
at least
you can always work on things.
Yes, but it's always something to strive for. So that's what I think we do that a lot. So yeah, it's good advice.
Absolutely. Something I heard a long time ago was, don't ever give relationship advice, because no two relationships are the same. What works for your relationship may not work for somebody else's relationship. And I never forgot about that. It's really, like how our style isn't going to be the same style as the two of you, but it works for you. Right? And that's what matters.
Yeah.
And I think it's more about self-awareness, knowing yourself and then knowing each other. Like, you can't show up for another person if you don't even know how to show up for yourself.
True.
Right. So true.
So the cool thing is that the two of you, even though you had those relationships that were not great, and now you're like, this is too easy, you found your person that understands you and you understand them. You're both very aware of what you want. You've been through the things that you don't want, and you're like, forget about that. That's enough. That's really beautiful. So how is it that how marriage has stretched you individually, would you say?
For me, it's definitely made me more patient, I would say. Because when you, marriage is almost like a fairy tale, right? You think you're just going to get together and he's going to do everything for you and he's going to be just like I want him and dress just like I want him to dress, right? That's our biggest thing.
The movie isn't true.
Right. And so that's not the case at all. We are so different, yet alike, but very different in our thinking. And so it's taught me
You just contradicted everything I said.
No.
Welcome to marriage.
I mean, we're different in that that, like, for
Well,
me,
yeah, you.
No, we heard what you said, but here's it differently.
That is true. She is true. Like, I would like to dress completely different than what she would like me to dress.
yeah.
So that's always like.
I think that's most relationships.
Not really. I'm never wearing it. She's always wanting me to change my clothes. It doesn't match or something like that. And so that.
I mean, it's silly stuff like that, but you kind of have to just learn to look away, even though you can't look away.
So I think
accept
that-
it, right?
It's hard to raise a husband.
That's
Accept it.
so that's kind of a big stretch for me because, like, I'm a very strong-willed guy, and so her coming in and telling me like what I pick out something I think I look good, and she's like, you need to change, and I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, I think I look great. I think I look good, and she puts her foot down and throws out something that I should wear, and I always change for her, but I don't like to. I like to think that I have a good opinion of what I wear. So
You can choose what you wear around the house all the time. I don't care. Just
This is definitely our relationship as well. It's one of the episodes.
Oh my goodness.
Because there's times I was like, oh, okay, like, I think I look okay going into whatever. And she's, oh, no, like, you can't wear a company shirt. You have to go get a regular shirt on. And what's wrong with this one? It's my best one.
He's got 2 outfits: a company polo or workout clothes. That's it. This is very dressed up for him right now.
I almost woke up this way.
That's awesome. You gotta have fun though. You have to have fun with everything. And, what is it? How do you reconnect after those hard seasons then? Because every marriage has a hard season or a hard period. How do you reconnect?
Well, for us, like when I feel like we're growing apart, right? Because that does happen. That thank God we're past that 7-year.
That's a real thing. That is a real thing.
Yeah, and during that time, I feel like we were very involved. Like, we took a lot of time away, so did vacationing alone. We did a lot of relationship trips as well. You can't stop growing just because you're in a marriage and you're together. You still have to try to woo each other, date each other, all the good stuff, because otherwise it gets boring, right? Or I don't know, like, and so I feel like that's what we try. He tried to be romantic or like take me out or even if you do. What I do love mostly about Tommy, he used to give me flowers all the time, and I love flowers, but then I felt like it was a waste of money because I'm like, dude, I still have live flowers from a week ago. But then he would randomly just grab me cards and then give me a card or leave a card, or he leaves me notes all the time, just something small like that to show you. So if he does mess up or we do get in an argument, it usually doesn't. I try not to let it last overnight. I try to make up before he goes to bed. I can think maybe twice in the last almost 9 years together where we went to bed angry, and you're not supposed to. The Bible says, don't let the sun go down, right? Angry at each other. And so, I just lost my train of thought.
Well, I'm going to go here. So what I was to say, I don't know, is this like a PG show? Or is this so I would say when we always feel disconnected, like if it's then intimacy time changes
we know
that.
It's like, tonight you better make it work or schedule an appointment. I'm like, I need to like you, okay?
Put it on the calendar.
Yeah, and it's sad that you have to do that, but sometimes you do. I don't know.
You have 6 kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I can tell our relationship grows tremendously.
Yeah. But I don't know if you guys, when we did that relationship program, we found a lot of things about ourselves. And like one of the things like that I thought, found out about like me, like I was a guy that like I kind of needed to be like, I don't know what you like, what's the word?
Pursued.
Like, yeah, like, like I wasn't somebody that just turned on and that was it. I was somebody that
like sensual.
Yeah.
I needed.
It was that. I think that was part of it. Like you like the romance. You like the right.
Yeah.
Like, to where I'm like, let's go. Nothing.
So it's like completely just the opposite.
And you are the type is called sexual. It just means that you're ready to go anytime. That's how he is.
So I'm a guy in this case, and you're a girl. Okay.
Just put some Pam on it. Let's go.
You could be a guy, you could be a girl. It's just how you're wired. It's just But it's nice because it's not boring. Like there's still a chase, right? That still has to happen. You have to have that. I know for James and I reconnecting during those hard seasons. I mean, we've had a lot of different hard seasons. There's been loss. There's been grief, there's been joy, there's been celebrations, there's been all of that, the highs and the lows. And it's really about being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you can think about where we've had to be really intentional?
Well, again, just kind of do a self-evaluation of where you currently are. Right? And how you're showing up to your relationship and in all relationships, how you are as a person, how you're treating, how you're talking, how you're being, right? And it during those disagreements, I'm consciously working on, I'm not trying to win the argument. I'm just simply trying to compromise of what's going to work for both parties involved. Because otherwise now I'm going home to a defeated wife, or she's coming home to a defeated husband, which is, no one wins, right? Because now you're still not happy and things are still messy. For us though, we got together at 18, so we're still kids, right? Going and still growing up and figuring out what life should look like, right? So it's definitely a marathon and an obstacle at the same time, but it's all in what you allow.
That's true. Yeah, I think a lot of times we can, again, it just goes back to you just know the person. You know when something's off and when something needs to change or be reset. For us, it starts with us. Like, especially for me, I'm the one that really has to disconnect from social media or just intense conversations, because I'm not the surface level conversation type of person. Like I go deep even with strangers, but I take on those emotions and it drains me. It completely but I love it. I love doing that, but by the time I get home, if I don't intentionally disconnect myself from all those things, so I need at least 5 minutes, to get into the door. Nobody talk to me. Let me put my stuff down. Most of the time I need to change my clothes. Something about changing my clothes helps me reset and getting into my senses, which means what are some lotions that make me happy or scents, like perfume, music, the sounds that help me energetically reset. I love a lot of the instrumental, peaceful stuff. But that's me. That's the things that work for me. For him, tell him what your senses are.
Oh yeah, for me to calm down off a day, it's like it needs to be violence.
Rock and roll.
Like Rambo movies and along all those action movies. That's what calms me down and gets me out of my head.
Wow, totally different.
Complete opposite.
Different. We are so different. Yes. But it works. There's a lot of passion.
I wouldn't want to date myself with my attitude. No, I'm good. I'll be single. I'm a lot of work.
We all are.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see. We're going to have another break, but please stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to end the last part of the show with some really fun things, and you don't want to miss it. This episode of Into the Garden We Grow is sponsored by Langston Security and Integration, a women-owned and led company grounded in integrity, stewardship, and long-term relationships. For over 18 years, LSI has helped businesses protect what matters most through thoughtful, reliable security solutions. At LSI, we believe strong foundations create space for growth in business and community and in life. To learn more, visit langstonsecurity.com.
Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. And as we wrap up this third and final session, I'm just going to dive in a little bit with Kristen and James. And I just kind of want to know, you guys have been together 24 years, 20 years married.
Yes.
Married.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit, and the viewers, how has your marriage matured over time?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. Are you wanting me to start?
Sure.
How has it matured? Well, as you are older and you're in this deep with the relationship, you stop keeping count of certain things of what you did versus what the other person did. At the point, it doesn't matter. It's just things that need to get done. Again, there's no scorekeeping. That's not what it's about, right? It's doing what you can for the other individual to make their life easy at times, right? And then as the husband, I do the husband role and make sure that, certain things are taken care of as she does the wife role, and making sure kids are taken care of and the animals are taken care of, the house is done, right? That is her role, and without even saying it, it's the roles that have been defined as, okay, this is what you're going to take care of, this is what you're going to take care of, without even having to really say it. So that's kind of, in my words, that's kind of how the relationship is now, being matured, and just growing more together, right? And figuring out for me, how to dress better, what she likes, and watching what I say on certain things, right? Being a little more sensitive to her, as that I don't want to upset her at all. So, how about you?
For me, it's giving you more recognition and praise and encouragement. It's so easy to want to nitpick and want to try to control the situation when I ultimately don't have any control over you. I have influence.
Yeah.
But do I want to influence you in a positive way, in a loving way? Or do I want to influence you in a way that you're just going to want to not even want to be home?
Yeah.
I have that choice to be able to respond and to show up for you. And when you're younger, and especially, I didn't feel like I had the greatest modeling of a relationship.
Neither of us did.
No, neither of us did. But so that was part of the challenge of figuring that out for each other. And it's because I love you, and I want you to know that I love you. I don't want you, like you said earlier, do you want to come home to a defeated wife? I don't want you to come home to a defeated, or I don't want to defeat you. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's English.
I don't want to beat you down.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've really worked hard on, especially in this last year, is building that muscle of encouragement for you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what our men need, right? Because then it just shows respect too. They're all about respect.
Yeah, but what the men also need to understand, which it was a lesson for me that I learned, is growing up, it's like, I want to get out there, I want to work hard, and I want to make money, right? And then you get in a relationship, and then you get married, and it's like, all right, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to make this kind of money, and she's going to love me even more, and then and after 10 years, it's like, oh man, I'm excited to tell her about a sell that I did and this, that. And for her, it's like, right? Then that's like a kick in the pants, because it's like, she just loves me for me, not for what I provide. It's two very different things. But that was a story in my head that I told myself. That's what I needed to do, when that wasn't the reality. It was my perception that was off and needed to be refined. That was a fun lesson.
Well, I love that. Yeah, because you guys also work together. And so you're together 24/7, kind of like us. And so sometimes that can be difficult, right? When you're you don't
Oh,
get
for sure.
a break
Yeah.
from each other. So tell me a little bit about how do you support each other's calling?
I'm so glad you're asking this because we're in a new season of that. How we ended up working together was, it wasn't planned, it just happened. And it was something that he really, really wanted to do and build something, build a legacy for our family and a great quality of life, financial freedom in a way, right? That's just the provider in him. You know, that's the man in him that wants to do that, provide that security. And for me, I wanted to support his dream. His, you know, like he believed in it so much that how could I say no to that? And it's been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life because it wasn't natural for me. It wasn't how I felt that I was built, but I've been becoming what I'm supposed to be through it, right? I've been learning a lot of the lessons. And now I'm to this point to be able to, I've worked really, 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 really hard. And I've had this extreme amount of responsibility that I've carried. But it's a privilege. Pressure is a privilege. And now I'm able to do this with you, Into the Garden We Grow. Like, this is a true calling. I feel like there's so much we could do to help people and an impact. And he feels the same way, but in a different sense, like in a different setting, right? His is more of that provider, that role, that manly leadership role. And mine is that relationship driven, that blossoming out, you know, and creating those roots for our daughters and showing them that, yeah, work is hard. It's going to be hard, but you can do anything you want to do that you want to do. You just have to really want it and you have to believe in it. So for me, I feel like that's the biggest difference. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's because, again, have two different beliefs, right? And so with that, and you supporting me in whatever it is that I wanted to do and build the business and be where it is today and more, and now you want to do these other things, who am I to say no or nay about any of it? My role is I have to support you, that I get to support you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because she did it for me. So it's, again, it's not all keeping score, you know, it's what we do is in the relationship and how we show up.
Thank you for that. Well, you two are aligned in your walk with Christ, in your spiritual, your faith-based relationship. And so I want to know, what does spiritual leadership look like in your home today?
I would say it's just leading by example, just living it. For me, you know, I think that our kids will look back and be like, I want that kind of relationship. You know, like that. I think that's where our basing is just don't just talk it or preach it or whatever, try to live it and be the example that, you know, if you do it right, everybody else is coming to you going, what are you doing different? You're doing something a little different than what we do. Like, can you give us your secret? I feel like the more we grow together and the longer we're together, like, I'm seeing that. Like, I didn't have that in the past, but now in this kind of a relationship, I have people reaching out and going, you know, what's your secret? What are you doing? So it's kind of cool.
And then for me, most women, or I should just talk for myself, I kind of have a control issue in a sense. I think most women do, where we like to be in control of our families, our kids, our husbands, our homes, our finances type of thing.
You guys are more organized.
That's right. That's why maybe.
Yep.
But I feel like when it comes to the spiritual leadership, I know that is not my thing, and it's his calling. Like, God created men to be protectors, providers, like you said, protectors and providers, and then pastors to lead their homes. And so I just like to, anything that I do, I run it by him. I don't, and then because I do, his opinion is very important to me and it matters. And so I just like to be more of a supporter in that role. And then, I mean, sometimes I have to push him to be like, hey, let's pray, or hey, let's pray before lunch or a meal or anything like that. But for the most part, that's why even when we first got together, I was going to CCV and he went to North Valley. But then, and I was doing both churches for a year before we got married. And then when we decided to get married, I was like, well, what are we going to do? He asked me, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, you are the spiritual leader of the home. And I said, and he is going to be held accountable, right? Even for us. And so I said, you get to decide. And then whatever you decide, I'll go there. And so he decided his church. So.
How about for you, Tommy? I was just curious, how do you two pray together?
So every night before we go to bed, we do pray. We do a prayer, and we pray for, our community, our kids, our health, and anything that's going on in in our current day. So we pray every night, and then kiss each other before we go to bed. That's every day, and then most every evening dinners we always pray. We try to pray. She's more the remembering that to pray, if it was a breakfast or a lunch or whatever. But yeah, we definitely pray. We pray together a lot. So we do every morning we do a devotional. So we have a little devotional book that we go through and read some scripture and listen to somebody's testimony thing that's going on. And it's really good. So
Tommy's gotten really good at praying because he used to not pray.
Oh yeah.
Right? But it's so cute. Like sometimes at night you'll be like, "Hey God, it's me, Tommy and Alina." Like God knows who you are.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He does that a lot. He literally talks to God like he's talking to a friend.
I love that. I love that.
It's cool. And I feel like when we don't do that, and even sometimes it's great because like if we're having a hard day at work or like a difficult situation with a client or a customer or even an employee, we always just stop and pray before we go, and then it just kind of calms you down and kind of resets you. And
I'm really trying to grow in that part. Like she said, I wasn't always a prayer. It's before I became a Christian, that wasn't my daily practice, and even just the stretch of it to like get out of that uncomfortableness of initially doing it, and more, I think as a man, like I feel like it's my my responsibility to like not be afraid to do it, to be open. And like there's been times that like this would be a good time to pray, and I'm like, oh, but what would people think? And then it's like, that's not what I should be doing. I should just, if I feel led to pray, I should pray. And it's been something that I've been trying to, slowly been introducing into our work environment as well. And, just trying to get it out there more and more. And we're really good people at, I think probably our biggest strong suits is just inviting people to, in their walk with faith, like anything that we have going on, we just loved, even if it's, they say no 1,000 times, we still invite and keep inviting, because we want to be those people. We want to be what is it, your word that you always say, we want to make heaven crowded. Why not, if we can be those people and be a light for God, and that's, I think that's our biggest thing is we have together is our faith. So
I love the fact that you were saying that you're like, hey God, this is Tommy and Alina. I love that because I think a lot of people have been raised in an environment where it's just like a ritual. And that's not what prayer is intended to be. It's intended to be a personal relationship with you and your Lord and Savior.
And it's got to be like on your own terms. Like I've had people a lot of times before I was really a Christian, and people would be like, "Oh, have you prayed?" And I'm like, "No," And there was one day, and like somebody said that to me, and I came home like, man, I don't even know how to pray. Like, how do I do this? So I literally, instead of praying, I literally grabbed a pen and paper and I just wrote God a love letter, like a letter to him. And then after that, then I started just being like, hey, God, what do you think? And I just started talking to him. And this was even before we were together. And it was like, you start developing that relationship with him and you start feeling like he's close, he's right there. And when you do that kind of stuff, like it's the Holy Spirit working in you, because then how that you have that little angel on one side and the devil on the other side. It's like it kind of shuts that devil side up, and like any bad thoughts that you got, like that, it helps change all that stuff. So it's pretty neat.
And I think we both believe in the power of prayer. We've seen it work over and over in our lives in the last 2 years, and not just in our lives, but our friends and our family's lives. So it's so important, I feel like, and it doesn't have to be scripted or ritual or just talk.
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
I mean, I think there are certain ritual prayers, routine prayers that people know. Now I lay me down to sleep, right? But for me personally, when I share that with my daughters, it really is like I'm trying to be that intimate relationship with them, right? So in that context, between the three of you, I mean, how has that changed your marriage? Because you had marriage before that wasn't like that, right?
Yeah, no. And I think that our marriage to me is way more easy and aligned, because the triangle where it's like if we're both down here, and if I'm trying to go towards her or she's trying to go towards me, none of us are going towards God, and if God's at the top. But as we go if we both are seeking God, it just gets closer and closer. We get closer together because we're both focusing on our relationship with God. And I mean, it really makes sense for us. And it's been working really good. So I don't know, like that's how we started our relationship that way. So it's always, I feel like, just got better and better. And I don't ever feel like there's never any threats of like, if you don't change or anything like that I don't feel threatened that our relationship could ever end, because I know that we're in this for life. So it's kind of nice.
It's a covenant. Marriage is a covenant. You shouldn't quit when it gets easy. I mean, there is some stuff that frees you from it.
You mean hard?
When it gets hard. Yeah, you shouldn't quit when it gets hard, not easy. And the Bible does free you from some stuff, abuse and
adultery.
But other than that, it's a work in progress, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's totally worth it, right? The hard work is worth it.
So then now, what season would you say that your marriage is in now?
Like, you talking about winter, spring, summer, and fall?
Yeah, what season?
I would say we're in summer.
That's what came to my mind, summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really reaping a lot of the rewards of it. I think, long term, like it's even going to be better. Like I just see where we are going spiritually, where we're, the new, goals and passions that we have going on that we want to strive for will bring us even closer to God, and bring, friends and family closer as well, and just building our community of, bigger relationships with, like-minded people, and it's great.
That's awesome.
What about for you guys? What season are you in as a couple right now?
What season? Well, on the card ride, it was winter.
And it quickly changed too.
Spring, I would say.
I was thinking that too, but I'm curious why you're thinking that.
I don't know. That's just what came to.
I think there's a lot of new things that we're doing.
That too.
which is why it feels a little bit like spring, but it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like me venturing off and doing more ministry type work. And then with our business, we're really like empowering our leadership team to be able to do the things that they do best to keep growing it and making it a place that keeps thriving. Our daughters are, you know, pretty well self-sufficient, but still need us. But it's like not as, I don't know, it's like a different season of growing.
More of a guidance that they need.
Yeah.
Olivia, she's just kind of doing her own thing.
Yeah.
To an extent, right? And fills us in on what works for us.
That happens.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, though, in a sense. You have equipped her to be able to do that, to give her the wings that she needs to. So that's awesome. That's a compliment as far as parenting. You don't want them dependent on you.
No.
So
No.
what is one thing you would say to a couple in a hard season right now?
Well, it kind of goes back to the relationship advice, right? You can't really, what works for you isn't necessarily going to work for them. But if they're going through a hard season, something that I would encourage them is don't give up. Don't give up hope. There's always a light. There's always, you know, but I think part of it is, again, you got to be self-aware. You got to know where you're at before you can ever show up for anybody else. Like, if you don't even like yourself and who you are, how is your spouse going to be able to reciprocate that? What about you?
Yeah, it goes, you know, to some of the marriage retreats that we've been to, right? And some of the exercises that we get to go through and, you know, writing out what kind of person do you need to become to attract the person you want, right? And what are the things, you know, and then you write down, like, what's a worse relationship that you are to believe, right? Is it the controlling? Is it the yelling, the screaming, the sarcasm, all of that? Then you circle which ones you're currently doing to then write what kind of person do you need to become, right? And again, it's not a keep and count kind of scenario. Marriage starts when it gets hard. It's not when it's easy.
Right.
You're just hanging out. It's a good time. Let's go. It's just rock and roll. But marriage starts when it gets hard. Always. Because it's easy to give up and be like, nah, I don't want to do it. But it's the discipline to be in it, to stay in it, and to resolve whatever is going on.
So you could easily decide you don't want to do this anymore.
Anyone
After
can.
20 years of marriage.
Yeah.
But what keeps you from not saying that and not wanting to do that?
Their app experience.
You don't want to start all over. It's scary out there.
I've heard it is. Yeah.
No. What was the question? Sorry.
What prevents you from just giving up?
Saying no, yeah.
It wouldn't be fair to you if I gave up because I was feeling some type of way and it was in my head, not a reality, right? It wouldn't display to our kids that we can stick together and work through any scenario that possibly comes up, right? So for me, it's showing the example to them.
I love that. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words on your end?
Well, I'd have to say, if you're asking the same kind of question, what I'd say if there was another couple having hard times. Well, one is that I would recognize that even know that, you know, if something's going on bad, that you recognize that your words or anything you could have done really can affect that person. So even though you may not feel, you gotta feel what they felt like, you know, that you could have hurt them in ways. So you got to recognize that. But I'd also, things that were advice that people gave to me in the past were like, okay, I hear, you know, you could sit there and think that if she did something and that it makes me mad, even if it was like 90% her fault, like what 10% did I have in it that I could have done something different? Like maybe if I would have reacted different, responded different, or treated it different, maybe it wouldn't have turned out that way. So, and then the biggest advice for me would be like, just pray. I mean, talk to God, go ask him for advice, get a quiet spot where you can talk to him, and if you did something wrong, own it and ask God for forgiveness first, and then take it to your wife and ask her to forgive you. Tell her, say, hey, I went to God, I asked him for forgiveness, and I want to ask you the same thing. And again, it's not easy, but I think it helps.
It's worth it. Yeah. So our hope today is simple, that wherever you are in your marriage, or even if you're hoping for one someday, you'd feel encouraged, seen, and reminded that growth is always possible. So let's settle in, lean into the conversation, and step
into the garden together.
Together.
Until next time, friends, be blessed. If something from today's conversation spoke to your heart, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for being part of this community. Until next time, friends, we'll meet you here in the garden, growing together.